Hey, welcome to Inspiration Station, where we build a sanctuary for your creative spark together. I'm Karina Pardis, a composer, activist, chocoholic, and self-care mom, and I am so glad that you are here. This is a place for you whenever you need encouragement or a reminder to believe in you. This episode continues to delve deeper into how to create a sacred space. We're going to talk about the mental space we create and how to manage the inevitable and seemingly endless distractions that live there. There are way too many distractions for me to list as a possibility, but I want to highlight a few. Your phone. That's probably where the majority of my distractions come from, honestly. That's just right there in front of me, so I have to put it away. Your fear can be a distraction. We talked last time about telling fear to leave and how important that is and how do we do that. Fear can distract us from our purpose. Criticism can distract us. Either criticism that we engage in about ourselves or criticism from others. There is a difference between critique and criticism. Critique can be very helpful to us as artists to be able to better understand where we can improve. There is no such thing as constructive criticism. There just isn't. The nature of criticism as a form of language and tone only tears down. It cannot build up. So if you feel like you're receiving criticism for your work, either ignore it or you can ask them if they have something that they would like to critique or a specific form of action that they suggest you take in order to actually improve. Critique is helpful because the nature of it gives you an actionable path forward. Criticism doesn't do that. It just says, I don't like this. Clutter or mess in your space or in your brain can be a huge distraction. Your brain only has a finite amount of working space. If you're trying to remember, oh, I need to call that person later. Oh, I need to pay that bill. Oh, I need to do laundry. These things build up in our working memory and doesn't leave any room for us to create new ideas. So either calling the person and paying the bill right then, or writing it down so it's out of your memory. Too much planning can be a distraction. I hate this one so much because I like planning. It helps me feel productive and I feel comfortable in the planning stage. And planning is important. Planning is part of the process, but so is acting on the plan. And if you are planning to the point where you're not acting on it, it's a distraction. Hard truths. I don't like it either, but it's important to know what your distractions are. Distractions do not have a purpose in and of themselves, but we tend to give them meaning. The meaning can be an escape, trying to get away from all the things that overwhelm us. Instead, we can replace that with rest, with a purpose. I love sitting and watching Netflix, and I like to say that that's rest, but it's really not. Resting happens with purpose. Intentional rest is what rejuvenates us. It's not just escapism. Distractions can also be something that we use for comfort. I allow my pantry to distract me a lot for comfort, which is not the healthiest thing in the world, and I'm getting better at it. It's hard to let go of those things that make us feel good and comfortable, especially when there are things that are uncomfortable. Leaving immediately to seek that comfort can be a distraction when those feelings of discomfort are often very informative tool to use in our creating. So instead of looking outside for comfort, look inside for comfort. Self-compassion. I talk about this a lot, and I hope you're not getting tired of it because it is foundational to our ability to move forward through hardships without invalidating our experience. We often also look to distractions for connection. This, I think, is where social media happens the most, is we're like, oh, but I'm connecting with these people. And you totally can. It is possible to have those connections through social media. It can be very important. Connection becomes a distraction when we don't know what is genuine or what is meaningful about that connection. And so seeking authentic relationships for connection and being able to authentically connect to yourself and your own creative practice is much better than the fake facade form of distracting connections. Hilaire Belloc, who was a Franco-English writer and historian, said, "We wander for distraction, but we travel for fulfillment." Being able to do this and actually seek fulfillment instead of distraction requires focus and knowing what is important, prioritizing. If we don't do that, then we run the risk of getting lost. Jocelyn K. Glay, who is the host of the Hurry Slowly podcast, said, "It is very difficult to avoid distraction when you're not extremely clear on what you would rather be doing." This is where naming your distractions comes in. To name the distraction creates the precedence of naming our goal, our focus, and the why behind an action. They are two sides of the same coin. One way to help do this is by creating the Eisenhower matrix of your tasks and lists and anything else that's going on. The Eisenhower matrix puts actions and activities in different categories. There is important and urgent. This should be the number one thing that you are focused on, that you cannot afford to be distracted from. Then there is important but not urgent. Then there's things that are not important but urgent. Paying bills falls into this. And then there's not important and not urgent, which is everything else. Wonderful tasks, good things, not important, not urgent. We've put all of our tasks into the Eisenhower matrix. We know where our priorities should be, and we still get distracted. Oh, our lovely brains that are constantly on the go. The next thing that I like to do is practice noticing. Sometimes when I recognize, oh, I'm distracted, I'll just say out loud, "I notice you." And that kind of jolts me back. Sometimes I'll write something down, right? Clear up that working memory. Then I get back to work. I have noticed it. I'm not holding on to it. I'm not judging it. I'm not going to follow the rabbit hole. I'm just going to bring myself back. Meditation is a good way to help you learn how to do this. I have an episode from season 1 about meditating where we talk about it's not about making your brain completely quiet or stopping the distractions from ever happening. That's not the goal. The goal is to increase focus by learning that you have the power to choose what you focus on. Something else that I use to help regain that focus is stretching. I've been sitting for a while and I keep getting distracted. No matter what I do, it just keeps coming up. I will get up out of my chair and I will stretch and I will focus on my breathing and I'll focus on my body and I'll let my mind wander and kind of just let it get out of the system. And then once I'm done, I feel refreshed and I feel energized and I'm able to come back and sit down and get back to work. Walking is also a good thing for me with that too. And it clears my head, clears everything out. Sometimes when you're just creating for fun or spending time with your family and you just want to be in the present moment, but are struggling to do that, which is a totally human thing to do, then it's helpful to have reminders of what you want to focus on around you. Those reminders of your goals and what's important to you can help reality check everything else that's going on. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, said, "If you commit to nothing, you'll be distracted by everything." I feel like a lot of times that quote gets weaponized. Distractions are real. They happen. Don't use it as a way to criticize your commitments. Just remember, what are you committed to? Why are you committed to it? How are you showing that commitment? You're capable of doing those things. Focus includes energy management. We need to be able to recognize when our energy is being filled and when it's being depleted, because the more your energy depletes, the easier it is to get distracted. Taking care of yourself, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, hydrating, good nourishment, movement of your body in whatever form you find joy in with that, being able to have genuine connections with others, being able to replenish yourself and manage your creativity and create those routines and rituals that help you get back into the thick of it, back into the arena of vulnerability, creativity, hard work, and joy. That's where we want to be. Sharon Salzberg, co-founder of the Insight Meditation Society, said, "Distraction wastes energy. Concentration restores it." I believe that your energy is powerful. It's a powerful tool that you can learn to harness. And naming your distractions is one of the ways to do that. I believe that as you are able to define not just your distractions, but your goals and the actions that you are taking to meet those goals and overcome your obstacles, the more effective your actions become and the greater impact those actions have on you and your work and the world around you. Thank you so much for listening. I'm excited to talk to you again soon. Until then, stay creative. Here in this moment with human needs and growing dreams, there's so much out there in the world. Commercials and billboards are telling you just what to do and asking who you think you are. Which voice will you listen to?